and welcome or welcome back. My name is V, and today we are going to watch something that we should have watched about 2 weeks ago, but I neglected to show you this particular piece of 360p content that you probably should have seen before starting with the Burning Crusade, but it is never too late to watch the World of Warcraft Burning Crusade Blizzcon 2005 trailer, which, by the way, I have not seen either. And this is something that was suggested in one of our YouTube comments that was, I think it was for the Harbingers. So whoever suggested for us to watch these trailers, thank you, because I started digging through it and actually found this masterpiece. Neon, hi! How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing good, thank you. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy to be able to watch this with you for the first time, as like I said, I've not seen it, and this is basically going to, in 4 minutes and 55 seconds, going to give an overview of the expansion, which I assume would have been nice to see before we started, but it's never too late. So I don't know what it is. I'm just really looking forward to it.
I don't think it'll be too bad to watch now. I mean, at least maybe I'll get some like references, or maybe I'll recognize some bits or something, especially since that we're like knees deep into it now though.
Yeah, we are actually done with Hellfire Peninsula, Zangarmarsh, and right now we are in the Blade's Edge Mountains. So we're not even halfway through, but we're making our way through Burning Crusade. So exciting times. Are you ready to watch?
Ready to watch when you're ready?
Well, I'm not, because before we start watching, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet, and do check out the pinned comment where you can find our first playthrough. Well, for Neon it's first, and for me it's starting to be first, as there are zones that I haven't discovered in WoW yet. Playthrough and leveling through the WoW as we used to know it way back in the day. We are recreating the leveling experience. Ironically enough, we're not leveling, we're twinking, but we're going through the zones and doing all of the quests. So if you'd like to join us on our little adventure, do check out the pinned comment, leave the notification bell on, likes, subscribes, all the good stuff. Yes, now I'm ready.
Okay, ready when you're ready.
All right, let's go. You can hear it, right?
Yeah.
There we go. Kind of excited for this.
Tensions have risen between the Alliance and the Horde. The true enemy of the world lies unseen.
Screen? Thank you.
Beyond the dark portal lies a universe of unending conflict, where the shattered realm of Outland has become the battlefield for a dark and murderous crusade. The Burning Legion has returned to claim vengeance, with a host of new terrifying warriors, such as the Wrathguard, Fell Reavers, the Ffxiv, and Warp Stalkers.
3 of them I don't know.
While
These ones are
Outland's
from
native
Netherstorm, I
deserts,
guess.
The Ethereals, Nether Dragons, Naru, and the Graan rally countless others to war.
This still looks cool.
I like the music. Sounds very hard.
Sparked by these events, abandoned sanctuaries on Azeroth now pulse with new life. Karazhan, the darkened tower of Medivh, bristles with arcane energy and the horrors unleashed by its former master. Its cursed halls now teem with the restless shades of the past.
Kind of like in the Harbingers.
Oh, I've never seen it, have I, in game? I mean, I've seen it in game, but not been inside it.
It's a raid, and I think it's a Burning Crusade raid. We'll go.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
Yet, within the fabled caverns of time, the past has come full circle.
Oh, look at the cheesy gameplay look in
Despite the efforts of
360p.
the bronze dragonflight, Windows into Azeroth's
Is this
history
Karazhan that we're going in?
wide,
No.
allowing
Oh, no, it's just
adventurers to experience the past firsthand.
This is a feature, I'll explain.
Yeah. It's showing you all the
When a
zones.
young orc thrall first set out to discover his epic destiny.
I think we've been there. And here?
Venture to
No.
the Black Morass.
That's the
Oh, here
feature
we've
that
been.
Guardian Medivh
Yeah,
first opened the Dark Portal and ushered in an age of chaos upon the world. Witness the majesty of the World Tree Nordrassil as 3 heroic armies join forces to defend it from the insidious Archimonde and put a final end to the Burning Legion's invasion of Azeroth.
Kind of cool, isn't it?
In the present, a proud, ancient race has embraced a new beginning. Quel'Thalas has been reborn. The High Elves, now known
Orgrimmar
as
music.
Blood Elves, lost the source of their eternal power when their kingdom was ravaged by the undead scourge. Desperate to replenish their energies, they now siphon dark magics from beyond.
I think this is when Blood Elves started being available. I think they're the new race.
Newfound strength. The Blood Elves have reclaimed their beloved Eversong Forest.
And they have a separate starting zone.
Based within their capital of Silvermoon City, they continue their reckless quest to claim new sources of arcane power.
So are these Blood Elves
Once
here?
staunch allies of the Alliance,
Yes, this
the
is their
Blood Elves
cure.
turned away from their former comrades in arms. Their obsession to gain power at any cost has set them on a collision course with the Horde. And a destiny they could not have foreseen.
Yeah, they're horde elves, essentially, so...
Junior races.
The call to arms has been sounded, as champions from both the Alliance and the Horde charge boldly into the realms beyond. The Burning Crusade rages on, and the time for heroes is now.
Jesus.
So
Yeah, right,
sorry.
yeah. Not me thinking we're just going to pause it on 4:55.
Did you like it?
Yeah. It's got me in the mood to play WoW.
Yeah.
Got me in the mood to play WoW. I think I mentioned quite a few things in there. I know that you're saying it's a feature trailer, so I think it's more of just featuring each of the zones a little bit here, a little bit there. And it looked like they were entering like a church and then into like a castle and then into entering something else. And I'm guessing they were entering some sort of structure in every single zone. Like
Yes, but your question was mostly about this part. So this was the Karazhan raid preview, and this is something that I didn't know was put into...
They were showing us the preview of the Karazhan raid.
Yes.
I see.
But this is not the Karazhan raid in particular. This is a place that was newly introduced back then, I guess, and it's called the Caverns of Time. And that means that you can pretty much experience some of the old dungeons that are important for the story.
Oh, so they're showing you the before and after all the time, aren't they? Look, they're showing you the same church before, then after, then the same...
These are actually, some of these are parts of the dungeons that are quite important. So there are some dungeons in the Caverns of Time where you can go and kind of experience these important parts of the story, important, essentially, characters and whatnot. And sometimes there are even quests that take you into the Caverns of Time so that you can experience like an old dungeon or something. And they did mention the bronze dragonflight, which is basically the bronze dragons are the ones that control time, right? So Chromie, who we used to get into Outland, she is actually a dragon, and she is a part of the bronze flight. So that's how she was able to send us back essentially into the past, and that is why there's that feature. Mm-hmm.
So where's the Caverns of Time?
It's in a desert in one of the zones in Azeroth. We haven't been there yet. We can go there if you want to.
I mean, it's just nice to know where it is, right? It's a important feature, I guess. I mean, even just to see it and say, just so you know, this is the Caverns of Time, blah, 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 blah. You know, it's like a basic, I think, right?
I think so, yeah. So I actually didn't know that there were new... actually didn't know how many new races there were. They said that there was 2, but I'm not sure which one is the second race that was introduced in the Burning Crusade. The first one that they're talking about is the Blood Elves. So essentially, Blood Elves used to be High Elves, essentially, but they had, I don't want to spoil this part of the lore because it's quite interesting and quite important, but they essentially had a source of their magic that they were protecting, but it was attacked and they were changed in a way that they couldn't survive anymore without essentially using this arcane energy to keep themselves alive. So they became power hungry, and since they didn't really receive the help from the alliance that they were hoping for, they essentially found some common grounds with the Horde and eventually became a part of the Horde. This is a very rough, I guess, recap of this story that isn't necessarily the most correct one, but it is something non-spoilery because I'm not sure how much of it they will explain in the Burning Crusade, and I figured that we should just wait for those quests.
The other race that they released was Draenei, by the way, and Draenei were able to play as shamans, which was a class that was only available on Horde, and Blood Elves were able to become paladins, which was also a class at the time that was only exclusive to being on the Alliance team.
Yes. Yes,
sorry, I googled that because I was curious.
That's okay. Yeah, Draenei actually, they did because of that makes sense because you quest a lot with Draenei in the Burning Crusade, so it makes perfect sense that they were the ones introduced. For me, they've always been there because as an Alliance player and as someone who's initially had a choice, as I started WoW a little bit later, I wasn't aware that they were introduced in the Burning Crusade, but it makes perfect sense. So yeah, this is how they introduced it in 2005, and I think it's quite impressive still to kind of take a look at it, and I think that people were probably super hyped for it. You know, this was at BlizzCon, so...
I thought they released a new class on top of 2 new races when this expansion came out, and I thought, maybe I'm mistaken here, but was that not Demon Hunter?
No, Demon Hunter was in
in
Legion. No. Demon Hunter came way later, and that was when I was already a current.
Right, because
like 4 or 5 expansions later.
The next one is Leech King, right?
And then Cataclysm, and then Mist of Pandaria, and then Wrath of the Burning Legion.
Oh,
so like
okay,
4 expansions.
Very late then. Yeah. Okay, then. Can you just rewind like 7-8 seconds? Go back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. So when it comes...
Can you just 1 second? Mm-hmm. Can you pause? Wait for it. No, not yet. Now?
That's the Caverns of Time. That's the
Caverns. Yes. I was just going to ask you that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'd still like to go. Like just.
Yeah,
for the sake of going.
We'll go.
What were you going to say? You were going to say when it comes to...
Yes, when it comes to them introducing classes and races, they have a habit of introducing 2 races, 2 classes. 2 races, 2 classes. So one expansion will have 2 new races, and then another one will have 2 new classes, and then 2 new races, 2 new classes, and so on. They rotate that. So I don't think there has ever been a new class and a new race in the same expansion. So they try to keep that balanced.
Not me spoiling myself a little bit here, but Leech King, they introduced Death Knight race.
Yes. Don't spoil it.
Okay, we won't get that far yet, Neon. Yeah.
No, we'll get there.
I won't mind seeing the Caverns of Time. It looks gorgeous in there. I love the colour scheme. You know, the blue, the green. Oh, sorry, not the blue, the green. I'm colourblind, apparently. Blue and purple, and like I don't know. Is it like a misty floor look? Is it like smoke or something?
That's actually, it's supposed to represent like cosmos essentially, because it's supposed to be a place out of place, like out of place and out of time. So
Yeah.
it's a place where you can go and find out some really important things about some really important characters. So it wouldn't be a bad
Yeah.
idea to do these dungeons, and I have a few in mind that I would like us to visit.
So would it be worth visiting the Caverns of Time just to show me, and maybe we can go inside and do?
Yes, it would definitely be worth it, and some of these dungeons are very important for the base story. So some of these dungeons were included in the base World of Warcraft, and they contain important bits and pieces of the story. So they are still kept here, so that you can go and experience them. So we should definitely do that.
Cool. I like the video. You can tell it's old because it's in 360p. That could be YouTube, or it could be whoever uploaded it into 360p. But I think what blows my mind, and I always go back to knowing like how basic games looked, back in 2000s, but this was literally 8 years after FF7 came out, which is 1997.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
WoW was really ahead of its time with with the art and with the way they did things. So others caught up, but
I really think peak gaming was like somewhere between like the late 90s to like 2010 or something, 2015, around there. I feel like peak gaming happened then. Not to say we haven't had any really good games, but like you say now, even like WoW, okay, it's not like some high res graphical 4K game, but it's still impressive to me that you can traverse this entire game and not have a load screen.
Yeah, that is kind of impressive. Yeah.
You can traverse the whole of, let's say, Azeroth, and you don't get a load screen. Yes, you get a load screen if you teleport really far, of course. I mean, and again, like now they're like 10 seconds long, 5 seconds long, even 3 for some PCs. But there is a load screen, depending on how old your computer is now. Mine's apparently a 10-second load, but still, like the fact that if you were to fly casually anywhere, you wouldn't get a load screen.
Yeah, I mean, I think,
just
yeah.
seamless loads.
It is very seamless, and I think that only now we are starting to be aware of how ahead of time they were with some things. It's a shame that some of the other things influenced the game in a way that, not only did other games catch up with it, but there was a little bit of, if I may say, pride and, arrogance, and just, making some silly mistakes with the community and within the company that just basically got people to lose trust, because they really did have a product that was ahead of its time. And if they continued developing it in the way that the people would have liked, I think that the game could have been much bigger even today.
I think for a company that were highly competitive at the time, they maybe had a bit of arrogance with it. But what's important is that they made that mistake, they've learned that mistake, and they can only go forward and hopefully strive to keep bringing like a bigger and better game. And I do believe as a package this game has done, like, or as a model as this game is now, and we're seeing this now because we're in Burning Crusade, but there was very minimal story. Yes, it's going around the zones and getting story, but there was no narrative. There was no not narrative, there was no linear narrative. Like, there was no like, this is your NPC, this is the next NPC, this is the next NPC, of a narrative path, right? A linear path. But then now these days, I'm presuming, I haven't played WoW retail up to date yet. Now there's much more of a narrative, a linear narrative, right? Like you know where you're, and I think the fact that they've learned and adjusted from that, and I think that now hopefully Blizzard players who are playing WoW are now really appreciating the linear narrative, and I think WoW have adjusted from very kind of like minimal story, like, other than, because one thing they've always done well is world building, but they've never done story always well. They've never done that. They never gave you story per se in WoW or even Burning Crusade per se. They gave you a lot of world building. But in all fairness, and I don't know when it begins, where this story begins. I think you told me it's a couple more expansions from now or something. But the fact is, one thing I do like is, even though it's all these years of just world building, you then are thanked by giving you this juicy story. I'm guessing whatever expansion it's going to be, where you get the linear narrative, right? But then now you're invested in this world because you're being embedded in this world, discovering these races and these clans and I don't want to say like side races and stuff like that, and you've learned how the world works. I think it's really interesting.
It is.
So you are rewarded.
The game's still in development. So, I mean, development in a way that it still grew from here. So what we're doing right now is going way back in the past. So it's not the WoW that we know today with,
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, Blizzard have made mistakes, and so have World of Warcraft, if we're looking at them separate entities. But my God, like in terms of WoW, I can't speak about like Overwatch and all these other things, but WoW have learned and have adapted, even if there was a bit of arrogance for years and years and years of not doing it, but they have done that, and I think it's made a healthy MMO for it. Because I think MMOs have also grown. Us as players have also grown. Our needs have changed. Back then, it was like this escapism that we still have for different reasons now. But back then, it was just about the world and just being in it, right? With no story. Now we like to be escaping this world, but we like being a part of this built-up world or built-up story, whether you're the hero. Because there's a lot of tropes with MMOs where you're either the hero, forgive me for not knowing terms, but where you're the golden child, basically, like FF14, you're like the warrior of light, or you're some like
gifted. You get a different title every expansion, which is like a personal pet peeve of mine. Every time you're a different kind of champion. I don't want to spoil the names for you, but boy, did I do that.
In WoW.
In WoW, yes, later on in WoW. They call you different names depending on the expansion theme. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that's similar to what I'm saying, like you're the gifted one or the champion or
something,
you're maybe and this is not just a common trope, obviously, by the sounds of it in this game, but in many MMOs now, where you're the main character, the main story of this gifted one to save the world, and you are the champion. This is a common trope, not just WoW doing it. WoW probably jumped on the trend because it was something people looked for in MMOs because it was successful, but now, because me, you, and any other MMO, journalists are probably talking about it, where we're now looking for something fresh, something new. And I think that's where we kind of are at the MMO market at the moment.
Yeah, I think so. I'm really glad that you enjoyed this. I enjoyed it because I've never seen it, and it's just lovely to see this old art.
You've never seen it?
No, I've never seen this trailer.
Oh,
this is the first time that
I love it.
that I'm watching it, so I'm glad that we watched it together.
It's been a while since I've watched trailers where it's making me itch to play the game. Like, I'm not gonna lie, seeing these zones here and these structures, I am so dying to just explore. That is something that WoW is doing for me, is it's making me itching to explore. Now, I'm not gonna lie and say the base World of Warcraft, I guess we should just call it World of Warcraft, I guess, or Azeroth, I should probably call it, and Burning Crusade. The zones are huge, they're very pretty, and they definitely have different color schemes and themes, but I feel like there's something missing that's making it exciting. I'm sure as we go through the expansions, this is only going to improve, because I've seen snippets, you're playing the War Within and stuff like this, there's a lot of different new structures and stuff I'm really, really looking forward to. And bearing in mind, I've only ever done 3 dungeons ever.
And those were not very impressive ones either.
No, and they weren't. And visually, they weren't, too pleasing. I did a couple in WoW Classic. We've done 3, I think, in our series. So I'm looking forward to seeing the different, kind of like, quote-unquote, level design to these dungeons, the aesthetics and stuff like that. And I will just compliment, I know we're, derailing a little bit from the actual video itself, but I'm really loving in Burning Crusade at the moment, where we've had a zone that looks really heated, Hellfire Peninsula, no pun intended with the Hellfire. Hellfire Peninsula, very orange, very bright, but very kind of desolate. And then we've gone to Zangarmarsh, and it's very purple, it's very blues, bit of greens in there, and it's raining. Like, there's another weather. It's not fire, it's water now. Now we're in like the Blade's Edge, yeah. And this is kind of a mix of both, with a bit of greenery in there, but very spiky and very jaggedy. This, like, the architecture, I guess, or the level design of this one particular map, again, is very different and very, very different, very vast, is that the word? But I'm liking the the variety of not some zones looking the exact same.
Yeah,
I'm really
same.
enjoying that a lot, and it's making me excited to explore, not even just in Burning Crusade, but I can't wait to see other zones and stuff in the other expansions, because I think they're going to be absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, same. I'm very excited for it.
Oh, this looks so cool.
It does. It does. We'll make sure to go.
Yeah.
I think for this video, that's pretty much going to be it. We're not going to keep you any longer. And thank you for watching this trailer along with us. I'm sure that most people who are watching this, they're taken back to 2005 and they're like, I was there, you know? But you know, for us, essentially, this was the first time seeing this cinematic. And I feel low-key embarrassed for not seeing it before. But, you know, it's never too late. So thank you.
I hope seeing my reaction kind of takes you back to maybe the first time you watched it, because not you either, anyone who's watching this, because like I think watching someone else being nostalgic and reacting to the trailer that you probably saw, whoever's listening to this, if you're here for nostalgia anywhere, you know, first time reactions, maybe you're kind of getting that similar vibe, and maybe you watched this trailer very late after playing Burning Crusade, like we're watching it in the middle of it, but it's, if anything, it just makes me appreciate it, and it has somewhat got me more excited for Burning Crusade, because I didn't know about this Caverns of Time. I had no clue. I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Things that
yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited anyway. But yeah, like V was just about to say, if you have liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, ring the notification bell icon, check the pinned comments for our playthrough and other reaction videos, because we have reaction videos already on the channel, some new ones coming. We have a playlist of me and V going through the World of Warcraft game itself and then Burning Crusade, and we hope to be completing all these zones completely with quests and going into these raids, and we're very, very excited.
Also, if you would like to see some other MMO content, Neon is also very much into MMORPGs, and he actually makes other MMORPG content, probably one of the most prominent ones being Final Fantasy XI, which is another MMORPG that was pretty much around during this time. So if you would like to see some of that content mixed with other Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy speedrunning and whatnot, that's the guy, and his links are also in the description of this video, so make sure to visit those as well.
Thank you.
Of course. We'll be seeing you next time. Until then, have a great day and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.